Hello. Okay, I'm having some difficulty with the stream. Um, it's freezing for me, so if you guys can't hear me or it's freezing for you, please let me know. Because I'm gonna have to switch some stuff up. But I'm trying to get it to work. I'm trying to get it to work. Okay. Oh, I love that intro to Mrs. Cassandra. And it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. um as much as it's supposed to be doing. Okay, good. You can hear me. All right. I'm going to keep going. If you guys don't see, what I see, hopefully I'm on my avatar's on the screen. Um that's a magic trick, Grace Case, courtesy of Dick Dawson and Loki Fishmas working on some little magic behind the scenes. I'm just testing it out. Um Yep, that's me blinking at you and showing you my teeth. But anyway, today we're here. We're going to be talking about Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell again, you know. And I well, it's like an update. They're brief updates, okay? There's not a heck of a lot going on over there, except for the last time that we spoke. If you all remember, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell are facing charges of murder for the children. Okay, we know this. Okay, we're going to bring up their pictures after, but first let me bring up, maybe it'll refresh your memory. Charlie, I can't believe you don't know who we're talking about here. We've talked about these people like a lot, but then again, it's not your thing. I understand, you know. But let's just let's just show you who we're talking about here. This is Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. Okay. They are going to be going on trial still together. They did not. The judge would not allow the charges to the trial to be separated. Okay. The prosecution, they won on that, explicitly. Um and I don't blame them for not wanting to separate it, because after all, it is better for the prosecution to lay out a case. It is one crime, two people involved. Chad Daybell's attorneys have pressed the issue several times, because I do believe they want to bring out a defense that is going to say that it's her, not him, and they want to like point fingers, you know. No, Mandy, if I turn around and fart, if I turn around, I don't think you're going to be able to see me fart. No, I'm going to try farting. All right. I got to put that up, don't I? Okay, please. She says, please try farting. No, I'm not going to try farting on screen, but thank you very much for the super sticker there that you just did for the super chat, Grace Case. I appreciate it. And oh, by the way, all of the super chats in the money from YouTube for the next few months is going through for a new computer system to do more of this, like more avatars, more backgrounds, more movement, instead of just boring old me on the screen. So, and thank you very much. And welcome to everybody who's coming in. I'm sorry I didn't get to chat at you all. The computer keeps freezing. I'm not going to be typing much in chat. That doesn't mean I don't love and support that you're all here. I see you. I will try to do the questions and put them up the best I can through StreamYards while we go on with this. But anyway, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. Chad Daybell's attorneys have been John Pryor has been trying to separate these cases for a while. He's been going back and forth. He has gotten several stays on it based on Lori Vallow has been up for incompetence twice. She did the first bat at the institute, and she stayed there until she was competent to go trial. She has not waived her right to a speedy trial. Chad wants to go faster in the beginning, but now he wants the delay, and she wants, she just wants to go forward. He wants the delay, she wants to go forward. It got a little messy, but the judge is saying no, they're going to keep those cases together. Now, recently, they did in December, in the early December, we were talking, and then they had that pretrial motion hearing that I was talking to you about, and they decided to keep the cases together, and they set a date of April 3rd. April 3rd of 2023. So just a couple of months away. Okay. And apparently Chad Daybell's attorney is still not very pleased with this. He's been coming up with all kinds of reasons to delay this. And he again filed on December 23rd, right before Christmas, to try to delay the trial again. Okay. And the judge says no. I don't think that's going to go through. It does not look like there's any real reason to do it. It is difficult when you've got two people at odds involved in the same case, and they have different attorneys, they have different defenses, they're coming at it from a different point of view. In order to have a fair trial, you have to take everything into consideration. And I have to tell you, the John Pryor, Chad Daybell's attorney, is throwing everything he can at the judge and at the court to try to get this delayed and try to get it separated. But because of Lori's fame, I guess, because of the going up for multiple incompetencies. Now, the last time we spoke, we were still waiting to hear from the judge on whether that was going to happen. Well, she passed with flying colors, and he moved it forward. Boom, we have a date, April 3rd. Boom, end of story. She's sitting trial, nothing happening there. They're both up for the death penalty in this case. I mean, they're going forward. This is going forward. Yep. I know. I know. Oh, can you believe it though? Oh, wait a minute. Now, who's spanking who in the chat? What's going on there? If there's any spankings going to be done, can I be included? Because like I've had some moments lately. I I got to tell you. All right. So you mods, I thank you very much for your message, Mrs. Cassandra. She says that the mods have it, and I trust my mods. I have amazing mods. The mods that you see there in the chat have been with me for a really long time. Like most of them from the day I started my channel. Okay. And they know the rough ride it's been, and they're still here. And I love you girls. I really do. And the ones that have signed on this year that have stuck with me too. I really appreciate you guys being here. It really means a lot. It really means a lot. Well, and to all of you that support me, whether by membership or tweeting it or talking about it or just joining in the chat, don't think I don't see you. I do. And I do appreciate you. I can't tell you how much it means. It means a lot. It does. And I don't want to get all sappy, especially not with Lori Daybell Lori Vallow DayBell sitting there looking at me with that smirk on her face, like I don't want to get all mushy because this case bothers me. I don't like doing cases about children who get murdered. I do cases that have hooks legally, or something where the law might change, or something where it's really a one against the other. And in this case, it is because we're not going to know what happened to those innocent children, okay, until it all comes out in court. And we may not even know then because I think these two are going to be pointing fingers at each other. It's going to be a rodeo. A rodeo. I don't know in Idaho does have a link to all the cases because it's a popular all the documents rather, not the case. The case documents are linked on the Idaho site, the court site, which I've linked in the description below. You can get all of the documents involved. These two have so many indictments against them, so many charges on the indictment against them that they share. Okay. Lori is also indicted in Arizona, by the way. Lori is still indicted in Arizona, the state of Arizona in Maricopa County, um, conspiracy to commit murder first degree, felony dangerous against her. Okay, against Alexander Cox, that she agreed with Alexander Cox that at least one of them or the other engaged in conduct constituting the offense of first degree murder against Charles Vallow, her ex-husband. Okay, so there's still that. Now, Alexander Cox, her brother, he's dead. The only one left on this. I'm pretty sure that because Alexander is not coming up on charges of this, I don't know where this is gonna go with Lori, but it's still there. Okay. The original case, may not. come to fruition, but the actual accusation is still out there. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Didn't you get the notification? I mean, I'm trying, I was trying to sneak one in without you finding out, but hey, you're funny, actually. But anyway, any Lori Vallow's got big problems there. They share many issues on the indictment, these two. Okay. She she was temporarily Lori originally was temporarily found not competent to stand trial back from Judge Stephen Baus in back in November. Remember, he brought it forward again and said that, they could. And then a couple of weeks after that, she went through another issue where the attorneys were saying that all of a sudden everything was getting redacted. There were some motions that were filed that the reason why she couldn't stand trial was all redacted out. That's usually based on privacy for health issues and or mental health issues. But then it did come forward afterwards on December 8th that yes, the trial is going forward. Okay. And that was the end of that. Okay. Remember, Chad Daybell's attorney is definitely trying to get them separated based on the fact that everything about Lori is so extreme. Okay. She is not well liked. She was the mother of the children. Okay. That brings on it a lot of prejudice right there as far as going up on trial. She's acted quite bizarrely. She's called everyone zombies and they needed to be killed to save them. Okay, but then again, so did Chad Daybell, and so did a lot of people involved in that church. But Vallow went on to say that she was an exalted goddess, with visionary capabilities and all of this, and that she's been tapped alongside Chad Daybell to lead. Like I think there's like 150,000 people who are going to survive the world end back in 2020. The world didn't end, and I think all those people survived. Plus 8 billion others of us, we're all still here. But yeah. Um, let's coin the frames, or she's got fame as a wackadoodle. Yes, and so does he. Okay, but he's a little more subdued about it. He's the preacher of the two. He's the one when he met her that converted her to his beliefs and etc. And all of this started to happen. Okay. Um, Alex Cox did shoot Lori Vallow's ex-husband back in July of 2019. Okay. He actually told the police in Chandler, Arizona, prior to his death, that he shot Charles Vallow after being attacked during a fight, which they believed at the time. Okay. But then further information came forward on this, this claim in Arizona that Lori Daybell may have asked, you know, Alex to do something about it. Mhm. It wasn't less than 5 months after the death of Charles Vallow that JJ and Ty Lee, 7 and 16 years of age, respectively, were missing. Okay. The grandmother hadn't seen them in a while and wasn't getting straight answers and asked for a check. Okay. Vallow had told the police they were staying with family, which they tried to check down and found out no, they weren't. Okay. And while the children were missing, okay, um, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow got married and were vacationing in Hawaii. Now it was months later in December of 2019 that Alex Cox, Lori Vallow's brother, was found dead in his home. But they say that was natural causes. There seems to be no investigation going on about that. But the children's disappearance did get carried on. Okay. They went through text messages and interviews and found correspondence where Vallow believed that people were possessed. Um, she even gave the possessing demon a name of Ned Schneider. Okay. Mm, I don't know why Ned Schneider, but Those who know Vallow told officials she believed her two children, like her ex-husband, were possessed and had become zombies. Okay. And there is also another court case going on with Lori Vallow's lease, but I'll cover that at another time because I don't want to get too convoluted here. It was way back in May of 2021 that these two were charged together when the remains of the children were found on Daybell, on Chad Daybell's property. So we won't forget that. Daybell was also charged in the death of his ex-wife, Tammy. This is why I'm following this case. This is a mess. There are so many interlocking charges, interlocking people, interlocking offenses. It's a spider web of evil. And these children definitely, and I'm going to bring them up now. These children need justice. Not. I don't think we should be. Yes, I want a fair trial for Chad Daybell. Don't get me wrong, and for Lori too. Okay, I think that the criminal system has to work appropriately for both of them, for us to actually, be able um to have to say that they're guilty. We have to see the evidence. We have to follow process. As frustrating as it is, we definitely have to follow the process, and to make sure that justice is served accurately, and appropriately, um, and so that they don't get a mistrial, so they don't get like an appeal, you know. Um, we need to follow the evidence to make sure that they serve the appropriate amount of time, which should be a really long time if they don't get the death penalty, which they're up for in Idaho. Okay. I'd also like to remind you that as crazy as Lori acts, there is no criminal insanity defense in Idaho, not for the actual get off with the charge kind of thing. It can be extenuating circumstances as to motive or sentencing and things like that. It can be brought into evidence as to what was going on, but it can't be brought forward as a clear defense. Okay. Yup. It. Thanks, Jen. You like me blinking at you like spontaneously here and there. Makes me look kind of nervous, don't it? You can tell that JJ and Tylee are siblings. JJ was 7 at the time of his demise, and Tylee was 16. Way too young. And when we talk about this case, I want to put them up because we never want to forget the victims, do we? We don't ever want to forget why justice needs to be served, and the families that of these children who are missing them, their grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, people that knew them, you know. Their legal process is there, Commander, to protect everyone. I agree. I absolutely agree that it's there for everyone, and I want them to get justice, but I want justice served. That's why all these shenanigans with the media and back and forth, I'm becoming really leery. And I know that sounds kind of hypocritical because here I am up here talking about a case, right? But I want to be respectful to the families and the victims, and I don't want to interfere with that case the way, let's just say, some things are going on with Kohlberger right now in the Idaho Moscow murders in Idaho also. Okay, that's crazy what the media is doing on there, but I'm not going to get into that on this one. I got a whole nother video coming out for you, a short on that, and you'll just have to, like, if you don't want to hear me on a soapbox, I suggest you don't watch it. Yeah, I said that. Like, if you don't want to hear it, don't watch it because damn, do I have something to say the way the media is handling this crap. It's ridiculous. And there's only a little bit of information out there. And I want the real information from the real people out there and not all of this BS that's circulating. People are getting harassed. It's terrible. But anyway, back to Vallow and Daybell. They are going to be going forward on April 3rd of 2023, unless the judge intervenes again at the request of John Pryor, Chad Daybell's defense attorney, that they need more time. That all of this back and forth with Lori is making it so that they are not going to get a fair trial. They also, he has, after being with this man for all this time, he has the nerve to say, I don't have time to do sentencing recommendations on a death penalty case. It's been a death penalty case since way back. Like, yo, like that is not their problem. You've had these case all along. I don't know how lawyers get away with saying that kind of stuff, you know. Um, but Sleet does want to remind us, and that's very good information, Sleet. I'm gonna put that up there for everybody to see. True. Thank you for Googling that, or however you found that. I don't know if you knew that off the top of your head. But he says that July 1973, capital punishment was reinstated in Idaho. Yes, the death penalty exists, and the prosecutors are pretty serious about these charges. Okay. They're very serious about these charges. Oh, okay. There is no relationship between the two. They don't have the same parents. Yes, I know this. Tylee was Lori and Joseph Ryan's daughter, and JJ was Charles Vallow's nephew's son. Okay. So there's no blood between Lori and JJ. Is that what you're telling me? Okay. But there is Tylee, but there's no blood between the two children. Is it? Yep. And she's getting a lot of heat because she was their parent, you know? Well, it is a fact. I get it. And the capital punishment system does have its issues, Sleet. I do agree. If one innocent person gets put to death in that manner, it does make the system uh very difficult to navigate. Um so I do understand. I do. I go back and forth on it all the time. There are things where I think they should go forward. Why should we take care of them for the rest of their life? This, that, and the other thing, putting a burden on everybody. But then I'd look at there's no undo, like you said. There's no take back. And I look at right now with DNA evidence, the amount of people being cleared for charges where they've been serving like 10, 20, 30 years already, and the DNA is finally being tested that it's definitely not them. That's scary. That alone changed my mind on death penalty. Because had that person be convicted of murder and put to the chair, and then this was tested and you found out they're innocent, how do people live with that? How do you wrap your mind around it? This is what's happening. DNA testing was way behind. DNA testing is now much more available. It's much more high tech. It's much more accurate. You can stuff's getting tested and people are getting exonerated. I mean, literally to the point of walking out of jail free and clear. Never had anything to do with it after 30 years. Yes, I'm going to do a special on it actually, just to prove the point. Of all the people in the last, let's say, 5 years that have been exonerated after serving almost their whole life behind bars or a good portion of it unnecessarily. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, for JJ and Tylee, we're going to have our trial on April 3rd of 2023. Okay. Um, Let me see if I can pull up the indictments. Hold on. You know, it was, if you will remember, we were supposed to have this trial in January. I had it on my books, like I was looking forward to it. But that got, when she went for the second go round of competency, and all of this, they needed time. And Chad Daybell's lawyer has argued repeatedly that he needs more time to review evidence and everything. And now in his filing of December 23rd, okay, he says that he would like the trial pushed back to October of 2023, where Lori Vallow's lawyer is actually arguing the opposite. Her lawyer is saying, since Lori has not waived her right to a speedy trial, and now that she's competent again, the court needed a date as soon as February of 2023, not to go to April. Like, she wants sooner and he wants later. Okay, and this is why they're petitioning to have the trials separated, because there's such a difference in what both teams want. I mean, there have been so many attempts to have the charges dropped. But let me remind you why they want to keep them together, because here are the charges that are on both of them. Okay. In May, I believe it was the 25th, and I remember this because mm, I have a celebration around then. Back in 2021, um, there was an indictment that was published out, and it contained the following charges that are on both of them explicitly. Okay. Conspiracy to commit first degree murder and grand theft by deception for the death of Ty Lee Ryan. First degree murder for the death of Ty Lee Ryan. Conspiracy to commit first degree murder and grand theft by deception for the death of J.J. Vallow. First degree murder for the death of J.J. Vallow. And conspiracy to commit first degree murder in the death of Tammy Daybell. That is on both of them. Okay? Both of them together. As far as separate charges, Chad Daybell is separately charged with first degree murder, not conspiracy. They both have conspiracy, but he's got the first degree murder in the death of Tammy Daybell. Insurance fraud for the life insurance policy he had on Tammy Daybell, for which he was the beneficiary and received the funds after her death. Oops, not good. Additionally, Chad Daybell was charged with another count of insurance fraud on a separate. Okay. Lori Vallow's separate charges are grand theft related to Social Security survivor benefits for the care of Ty Lee Ryan and J.J. Vallow that were appropriated after the children went missing and were found deceased. And then, of course, on Lori Vallow in the state of Arizona, conspiracy to commit first degree murder related to the death of Charles Vallow. I mean, there's a reason they had them together. There's a lot together, you know. Yes. Ali, I agree that Chad is definitely a butt and Lori is definitely nuts. Yep, I agree. Okay, I definitely would not find that a contrary statement whatsoever. These two, although I want them to get a fair trial, uh, I have to give credit to Judge Stephen Boyce because he has had to deal with their shenanigans for quite a number of years already. Okay, this has been going on since the indictments. Okay, in 2021. He's had much paperwork, two different lawyers coming at him with two different things, trying to separate cases left and right, pointing fingers at each other, both teams crying foul, you're not treating me fair. I mean, you gotta give it for how this man is like dealing. Plus the fact, remember that they're gonna have to move this. Is this the one where they're moving the trial to Ada County? Like, right? Because they can't have it in the same county where it was because of the actual how serious was. It's gonna be in Ada County, Idaho. Okay, and Judge Boyce has to go from where he normally is to Ada County, and he's there, if I remember. And it's such a high profile case that he has to bring his whole team. Ada County is the ones that are actually opening up the courtroom for him and allowing the people. They've got to make special arrangements, you know, they got to shift things around to bring a case from another county over there so that the jury selection has a better chance to be fair. I mean, Judge Boyce is doing everything he can to keep this on the up and up. But when it's this high profile and y'all like you're out there doing this kind of crazy stuff all the time. I mean, you can't be a preacher out there talking about zombies in you know, only a certain percentage of people surviving a big freaking apocalypse that never happened, okay? And not have all this media at you. You can't be Lori Vallow over there in the institute at the time getting mental health evaluation, talking to the lawyers for the church. Okay, no, like there is so much shenanigans going on that I don't know how Judge Boyce is keeping his head straight, but he's doing a damn good job, and we need to praise him. We need to praise him for really trying to give them both the trials that they deserve fairly, you know, and keeping it that the actual victims get served, get justice, that these charges actually go through and get answered. It's not been a good ride. It's not going to been a very good ride. I mean, it's been insanity. And if they actually are going to put this case out there, It will be one. I didn't think I'd do another live coverage of a case, but if they do this one, I will be there because I think the legal back and forth in this is going to be absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. And I want to see justice done. Okay. Um, the reason one of the reasons that Daybell's attorney, which I forgot to say when he did ask for his extension, is because of the jury selection questions that went out. Okay. He said that January 9th, the jury questioning, if that deadline goes there, it coincides with him filing a motion to continue the trial. And he wants the jury questionnaire postponed because he filed on December 23rd. Okay. Um, He filed that motion because the January 9th jury questionnaire precedes the deadline to file a motion to continue the trial. He wants that jury questionnaire postponed, which, if they do actually postpone the jury questionnaire, they're going to automatically have to postpone the trial because of the timing that these things go on. It's crazy. Yes. Oh, he said no. Yes, he did. That's right. You're right. Actually, I had forgot all about that, Mandy, and I'm glad that you brought that up because yes, that's absolutely true. That judge did say no cameras, and he did that based on what was going on with Lori Vallow at the time. Um, Even for the pretrial motions, if you remember, when Lori was like smiling and goofing off at the camera, I remember that ruling. Lori Vallow was smiling at the cameras and making goofy faces and stuff, and he thought she was going to get prejudged before trial. And on that, I know you're going to disagree with me, Bandy, but I kind of think he voted okay on that. So I know that I know the pretrial motions are all done and over with, but now that she's been declared competent, I think that Chad Daybell wanted cameras, and that's why he wanted to separate. Lori does not, as far as I know, or the opposite. One of them wants it, one of them doesn't. But I think that Boyce did right because the way that Lori was interacting with the public was really, really weird. It really was. And that can lead to prejudice. Maybe rightly so. She's weird. I mean, we should be allowed to know about that, but it was really hyping up the press and the media. And I can understand why he wants to keep a calm courtroom. Um, so we're not going to get live coverage. So I'm going to wind all that back. I remember wanting it's on my calendar for January to watch for it, and then we got the rulings about a month or so ago that said absolutely not. We got all those rulings a while back that, and they were fighting it back and forth, but there will be no cameras. And I would think it's very rare in to actually have live coverage the way that we do. It's fascinating here in America how we have that. We had it on the Brooks case, and that was a criminal case. You see, like when it's civil cases, you know, um, I could see that because, it's a civil thing. It's about, somebody did somebody wrong and both sides need to be out there. And that could be good exercise in learning the legal process and learning how things are done and, everybody getting their story out there. But when it's a criminal charge, and I kind of agree that w- when you've got, although the public has a right to know, when you do have the cameras in there, there is a little bit of prejudice because the media is going to be reporting even more so. Okay, even more so. Look at how the defense for Masterson tried to use that every chance they got. That we were all talking about it out here. They tried to use that defense like crazy. They brought it up every chance they got. People are talking about how much they hate Scientology, and so that's not good for Danny Masterson. And we need a mistrial, you know. And we watched Ritter House too. Yes, we did. And we watched. Oh, why is this stupid article keeps playing? I'm sorry, people. Okay. And we watched, Rittenhouse. I get that, there were quite a few criminal charges, that have been out there, and I'm just gonna say, like, it does lead to a little bit of prejudice in ways, and some judges really feel strongly about it. And right now, it's a case by case. I do understand how you feel though, Mandy. Like it is hard for the public. Like we know so much about it. To keep us out of the loop now is not really what we would say what we would want for the victims. And nope. I don't know. I'm like of two minds, as you can tell, because I could see why he did it because of how Lori was acting and try. He doesn't want a mistrial. You have to remember that. With the cameras there, they can use things like that, and they use public opinion and they try to drag everything out, and it's just not cool. It's just not cool at all. Um, oh, I'm gonna get big again. You're gonna see my big eyeballs here. Um, no, I think they should. I think that we should be allowed to see footage after or whatever. Maybe not have it like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good premise. Like Mindy, we should have a discussion on that. I think like that. Should they all be public? Every kind of trial. Well, here's the thing. Then are we not persecuting the accused ahead of time? I mean, all right, let's say someone is actually found innocent. Who gets to walk back into their life after that kind of publicity? Unscarred, unchanged. What life is left? This is what's going on with Kohlberger. This is why I'm like really upset. I'm kind of happy the way Idaho is clamped down that they're not releasing anything until he actually gets into the court, you know? And I do want more information. I want to see what's going on, but there's got to be like a reporting system that can do it, because unfortunately, man, the it's the way the media handles it that's making that the public can't. Like you could go to that trial, Mandy. You can go and go inside. There just won't be cameras. Like the public does have a right to know, and they're going to let us in. But you know, with open trials, you're right, and you can go in believing that the BS, but you can go inside. What they're worried about is how the media is actually skewing it. And that's the problem with some of the stuff that goes on with the cameras, because of how it gets skewed. If it was just straight camera feed right from the court with nothing else, that would be one thing. Okay. But even then, people are streaming it and turning it into something else. And we saw that during you and I saw that particularly in Mandy ourselves with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. How all of that got skewed terribly on both. Even it was incredible. So there's yin and yang. There's two sides to that coin. There are two edges to that blade, so to speak, on whether or not cameras should be in the classroom, not the classroom, the courtroom. And I'm kind of two minds about it. I understand where you're coming from, and I really welcome more talk about it, because as we go on, we'll have more references. But I do feel for the judge. I do, and I understand his ruling, and I may have done the exact same myself. Actually, had I been graced with a legal degree and got to judge them, like wouldn't it be something? But I'm not, because I'm not a lawyer, and I tell you guys that all the time. I'm just somebody who likes lawyer stuff, legal things. I'm not even a paralegal, but do I love to talk about these stuff? Absolutely, I do. All right, I got one more person I got to update you on, and it's really short. Hey, thank you, Grace. For I can't pull member messages up; they won't appear in Streamyards for some reason. But thank you, my member for 7 months. Wow, it's been that long already, Grace. Wow, a murder minion who joined back when we called everybody who comes to these shows murder minions. She says Team Claire. And I don't know why I got a team, but thank you for being on mine. Thank you. I liked it. Thank you very much. That making me smile, Grace. Can I call you a goofball? You're a goofball, girl. You make me smile. And there's nothing wrong with being a goofball, because it's a great thing. It's actually a great thing, making people happy like that. Um, okay, all right. We got two questions before we talk about Boone. Let's pull these up. Okay. Let's see if it will pull it up. The first one is there is effery about. It's raging every night. Scientology is effed up. Anthema is just bites. Someone's trafficking a child. Twitter files are in the wild. Claire 54, where are you? Oh my gosh, it's like that's like a whole preview song that could be sung before the show. Thank you, Sleet. I don't know if the comment ever showed up on the screen because StreamYards is playing up on me, but I'm trying to put them up. Let me read Mark. This is from Mark. Claire, what about if cameras were allowed in court, but nothing was published until after the trial? I'm down with that, Mark, because that solves the issue of the media being able to hype everything up and making things out of nothing. I I'm with that, Mark. That's not a bad idea, actually, because then we could use it for what we want. We want to see the details. We want to solve that fascination. Man, it wouldn't be real time. But unfortunately, real time involves the media, and the media has been pedants and sometimes straight out assholes and not exactly not biased. So I think I could go with that. That might be something, you know. Thank you very much, Shill, for your member message. Also a member for 7 months. Wow. And she's a Mayhem member. Damn, that's a show. Damn, Shill. And thank you for joining the last show. That was something. And she also says Team Claire. Now, can somebody tell me why I have a team all of a sudden? Am I running for something that I don't know about? Like, what's going on? What are you guys putting me into? Like, did I miss something in the chat? Like, am I running for an office or something? Like, let me know. If I got a soapbox, I need to practice. Like, you're gonna have to inform me, you know. Can we institute people by drowning in a piss-filled puddle? Just a thought. That's not a bad idea, Aaron. That might help. You know. Um, Maybe we need Team Aaron to vote for that. Maybe he could run that program for us. I don't, Mark, I don't know what it's for, but go ahead and hashtag it. Damn. I know Grace because, yes, I know Grace because people are shite. That's why. And you know what? I appreciate that, Grace. And Shield, thank you. I do appreciate the support. I do. I really, really do. If the governor calls you, just take a foot off of their head. Okay. Okay. Man, Aaron, you have some opinion about this. Okay, let's go. Can we talk about, does anybody recognize this face? This is Sarah Boone, otherwise known as the suitcase killer. Sarah Boone is being accused of the murder of her boyfriend George. She left him in a suitcase while they were playing hide and seek. She not only zipped him up in it, she flipped it over and then did a couple of TikTok videos while she laughed and taunted him about how does it feel to have the shoe on the other foot and so on and so on. A little bit of a revengey kind of spiteful, pity little back and forth there. Then she claims she went upstairs and went to bed after they had had some wine and all, and they were playing hide and seek. Because grown men always go and hide in a suitcase with the help of the person they're hiding from, because that's how the game is played. Am I the only one who thinks that's the biggest, like, ridiculous thing that I've ever heard? They were playing hide and seek. She helped him hide, then sat on the couch and took a video while he suffocated. Hmm. Exactly, Tony. Like, I've been scratching my head. Why is that not a headline? Like, she zipped him up and flipped over the case, okay, and told the police this in her interview, okay, and in her story as soon as she got there. She said they were doing puzzles and being creative painting, and then they decided to play hide and seek because they had a little wine. And she helped him hide. So who was supposed to find him? Oh, that's right. The coroner the next day. I forgot about that element of the game. You see, like, she's not telling the whole story there. Okay, I digress. I don't want to say she's guilty, but if you watch the 4-hour interview and you watch everything that's coming forward and you look at the evidence that they have, so right, or if you see those TikTok videos, she is at least guilty of manslaughter. That woman there is guilty of not giving a shit if somebody said they couldn't breathe. That woman there videotaped it in her own demise on charges here. So even if it's not murder, which would be the difference would be intent, whether she meant to kill him or not, and some of the language she used while she was doing that TikTok, and some of the aggressive abuse charges that have been filed against her in the past, where a actual officer said that she was the aggressor based on the evidence, not the other way around. It's not looking good for her. And she's a bit crazy too, because the update that I have for you is that her her lawyer wanted out. Remember, I told you that the judge was going to weigh on it. Well, the judge doesn't want this trial delayed. Nope, lawyer's going to have to stay. He did not get a free pass. Yep, yep. She zipped her man into a suitcase, Mandy. I kid you not. Her own words. I zipped it. I flipped it over for him. So the zipper was down. Then I got tired after filming it and everything, blah, 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 which, they found that on her phone, by the way. Well, she goes up the stairs and she says she falls asleep, but they weren't drunk. And then she comes down in the next morning because she doesn't know where he is. She figures he's on the computer. Lo and behold, he's in the He's in the suitcase. She gets him out. She wonders why he's purple. She literally listened to him for at least the several minutes of the TikToks that I watched tell her that he couldn't breathe and it wasn't funny anymore and he was struggling. And she wonders why he's purple 12 hours later or however many hours later it was. Like, come on. This case is ridiculous, Mandy. Absolutely ridiculous. The name's Boone, Boone, Sarah. Okay. It's out of Florida. Kid you not. It's in Florida. Okay. And uh, anyway, Charlie, that's funny, but I'm not putting it. Oh, this man has been accused of being an abuser, that he deserved, that they had altercations. There were people that came to the house that were fighting. They were together for quite a few years. They had a tumultuous relationship, but nobody deserves to die suffocated in a suitcase. And have a video on TikTok about it. Okay. Sarah's gone through several lawyers. This last lawyer is not getting a free pass to get out. He's a public defender that has been assigned to her since July, and he has not been communicating with her. Now, the judge has ordered him to do several things. Now, here's what happens. From what several of the lawyers are saying, if he still doesn't do it, he'll get sanctioned, and then it's going to get delayed anyway. Like, this is a mess. She deserves a speedy trial, and we deserve justice, and so does George. George deserves some justice here. Okay, they can't be mucking around like this. This is the one that keeps writing to the judge. And in this case, as horrible as this case is, she does deserve the right to representation. She has all kinds of appeal stuff going on here. Like, this is messy. When I say legally messy, this is a little quagmire here, because how are you going to have, no matter what happens from this forward, she hasn't spoken but twice to this lawyer since July, she said, and that he's not talking to her, he's not approaching her, she doesn't have any counsel, she doesn't know what's going on with her case. She learned that the lawyer didn't even show up to several of the motion hearings. Okay, that's not good. That is not good at all. That's misrepresentation. Okay, and that's it. Like, she's got appeal right there if they go forward with everything. But I don't know what's going to happen with this, but we're going to keep watching it very closely because that trial's coming up soon. That trial is definitely soon. Okay. All right. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what she's doing with her lawyer, Sean. I know it looks a little weird, right, Sean? And so many people did not. So many. I mean, this is what, sixth or seventh? I think seventh lawyer. Like, you got to stay. Okay, six lawyers bailed. Okay, and they're saying things like a couple of them she didn't want, but most of them are saying irreconcilable differences when they file for the court to release them. These are public defenders. Okay, she is obviously able to articulate what she believes is going on to the judge, and it gets filed. It gets filed as part of the case. Okay, but they don't answer her back. They just file it. you know that she's made the complaint. Okay, and it did the judge did get to exactly read it and knows what's going on, and that the judge that the he could question the lawyer as to why you're not contacting your client. This is just shoddy law representation. A lawyer shouldn't be doing these. I mean, I don't understand. Even if she's the worst client in the world, she deserves representation. You got to do due diligence. You got to do your part. You don't get to just walk away like that with no sanction. You can't disagree the judge. You cannot like ignore your client. It's just bad. I mean, come on. Uh, if she has no control over her lawyer and she doesn't turn up to court when she's supposed to, does that give her grounds for action? Yes. Just the fact that he didn't show up for that motion, she would show up because the court notifies the jail like when she has to appear and stuff like that. There is some kind of process. So I think she did know, okay, but her lawyer wasn't speaking to her about anything and he didn't show up, okay, and then this all got messed up, okay. I'm telling you, Mark, it's definitely making it where this should be a shut case. I mean, Mandy, right? They got video. They have her admitting she zipped up the suitcase and turned it over. So at the minimal, they got manslaughter. Someone died because of your actions, or you didn't do anything about it. That's manslaughter. They got vehicle manslaughter and accidental manslaughter, and like during the course of some other activity manslaughters. But the intent to not kill him, they at least have that hands down. But based on all the other stuff, they can probably actually prove that she did have intent based on the I have read an arrest report uh with her and George where she was charged more extenuatingly than he was in regards to the assault for choking him and attacking him, flying at him. Yeah. Could that cause a mistrial? If we were in trial, it would when he asked to leave, yes, but we're not there yet. What it will be is open up for appeal. Even as we get through the trial itself, it will open things up for appeal of not representation. Yep. Definitely manslaughter, right, Mandy? I mean, that's hands down with those videos. There's no doubt it's her. It was found on her phone. It's definitely her voice. It's her. She admits it's her. Okay. Like there's no doubt. I know, Charlie. I know, like, you've got the blackest sense of humor about this suitcase thing, but I have to say, I don't think this victim deserved this. I don't care if he did smack her. He doesn't deserve to die like this. He doesn't deserve to die. Ineffective counsel would be appeal rights. It could even be mistrial if it goes on during the trial. No, you don't have to stop, Charlie. I mean, no, black humor is black humor. That's how people deal with things. You go for it, dude. I'm not telling you to stop. I'm just like, they're good, and I'm reading them. I'm just not going to put them up, mostly because I can't get them to go up with the way my computer's acting right now. All right, so on that's my hour. I'm going to give you a minute more because I started so late, but I appreciate all of you being here. This is something we're going to be following. Vallow Daybell, we're going to follow whether there's cameras or not. We're going to do the best that we can to keep you updated as everything goes on with that. Same thing with Murdaugh. We're going to be following that. Whether that's a little, I don't think there's going to be a live feed on that one, but there is access to people that are going to be in the courtroom. Perhaps we'll find someone that's like very much like Tony Ortega was. Perhaps there'll be somebody that's going to report daily that we will be able to get accurate information and tell us what's being said and doing and going on. You have a joke, Mandy? Go ahead. And I see you. And Charlie, that's a shame. Aaron, I hear you, but yeah. Sandy, yes, you helped me with much of these avatars. I appreciate it. You like the new look? Yeah, we did get it moving. We got it moving. Yes, we did. But I didn't do it. I can't take credit for that. That would be Dick Dawson and Loki Fish Malls. They're geniuses in regards to this so far. All right. How can you tell who's the blind man at the nudist colony? Okay, Mandy, I'm ready for the punchline. It ain't hard. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that, Mandy. Like now that I spit all over my computer screen, some coffee here and there, I think on that we're gonna take our lovely Sarah Boone off the stream. If you don't have any more questions about the suitcase girl, basically charges, lawyers sticking, judge said no, case is still going forward. Yeah. No, that's because it's hiding behind that black cloud there. Like if I take the background out, you'll see it. They didn't lose the cat ears, Sandy. It's just you can't see it. You see that dark bit of uh darkness that I put on this background. I felt very stormy. Bye, Mark. Thank you for coming. By the way, Mark, if you're interested in the Marilyn Manson case, I'll be doing that Friday. Just giving you a heads up so you don't tell me I didn't tell you. So there you go. If you like the Marilyn Manson stuff, I've got a long overdue update on that one coming out on Friday. Hey, Garris, nice to see you. Anyway, whenever. Mm-hmm. Okay, so on that, um, I'd like to ask you guys if you haven't subscribed, all of you on YouTube that do watch these, if you haven't subscribed, please click that bell so you get some notifications. We're covering a multitude of different cases on and off. They all have a different hook here and there. I don't try to preach legal. I'm not a lawyer. I do look into what the legal team's all saying, and I do approach lawyers for their advice on stuff and paralegals, and we research right from source evidence, not gossip or ridicule. Not all of this. I usually stay away from I read what the press is doing, but I don't report on it unless it's got a credible source. That's for sure. And I don't claim to be a reporter or any of that stuff. When I say report, that just means the act of talking about it, like stating something you learned and putting it out there, reporting on something you've heard or learned. It doesn't mean reporter. So don't come at me. Stay the hell out of my DMs with that bullshit too. Um, I do this because I like to do it and because you're all here to hear it. And as long as you keep coming, I'm going to keep doing it. So hit that like button, share the video, comment, please. Like if you have questions you think of later, or there's cases that you want to talk about, or you want to go further into, or you missed something, then hit the back of the videos, people. It helps also with the algorithm. And I could use the help with the algorithm right now. Because of some of my other content, I keep getting booted, and y'all know why. So this stuff needs help getting back in there. If you give me a hand with that, I'd greatly appreciate it. So put in that subscription. If you'd like to join the channel, there's a button right there on the page below, and there's also the Patreon. Just know that we do donate most of the money. In 2023, we will be saving money towards a new computer. A good percentage of it's going to go to that, but we'll still continue to donate as we have since the day we became monetized on this channel. Yeah. On that, I'd like to just say goodnight, and I'll just put my awesome outro on, and hopefully it'll play with no problems. Before that, a little promo of something I'm excited that's coming up in 2023. We're looking for our first episode to be in January. So there's a brief 1 minute such promo, and then we'll go right into the outro. Have a great night, everybody. There's gonna be a drop later for the library, a read that I think you'll be interested. I've got a couple of updates coming out, and I'll see you on Friday for Marilyn Manson. Good night.